Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a really cool vlog for you. As you can see, brand spanking new BMW M4 competition. The owner literally picked it up this week. It's got 270 miles on the clock, so he's not waiting around at all, and it's going lower and louder today. So we're installing some H&R lowering springs, some spacers and some upgraded downpipes. So yeah, this one's going to be really cool. But have a look at this. It does look stunning in this this color. I'm not too sure what the actual name of it is, but it's really nice. But as you can see, standard ride height on this car is very high, really high. And if we can get something down the side, yeah, you can see it needs some spacers. So yeah, that is the aim for today. Let me just quickly show you. Let's go inside. Let me just quickly show you. So, H&R lowering springs, upgraded downpipes. Have a look at here. Pretty cool what they've done with these, but in order for this, in theory, this shouldn't flag up the engine management light for cat efficiency, because where the secondary lambda sensor goes, it has effectively got a small cat on it. So in theory, this should work. Should be able to put these downpipes on, not get no engine management light on, enjoy the extra benefit of the performance and sound, and we may at some point put on a dyno. But yeah, we will take you through this vlog. So, BMW M4 is up on the ramp. We've taken off all the under trays, and we're not going to do a full how to install on this particular car. But from just having a quick inspection, it's very similar to the previous gen M3, M4 and even M2 in terms of suspension. It looks pretty much the same. So if you're going to install one of these, have a little watch of our M2 video, because I think this will be fairly similar. But exhaust wise is quite a bit different. And the main thing which the S55 was criticised for was sound. A lot of people didn't like the sound, and the main reason being for that is, yes, it's a twin turbo car, but effectively it's 2-3 cylinders in line. And they had different length exhaust systems. So that's why we had that kind of raspy, tinny, not a very crisp sounding engine on the S55. A lot of people didn't like it, some people loved it. But what they've done on the S58 is they've added this section in here. So we've got the two downpipes by here. They've added this section. So then from the cat back onwards, so if you look here, that is, let's run this, bank 2 and then bank 1. So if you have a look here, there and there, they're not exactly the same length all the way to the cat back. And this is what will give this S58 a little bit more of a cleaner, nicer sounding engine. And obviously with the downpipes, it should just amplify that. But we'll get the suspension off now, and we'll just show you a few little tips. So the lower end springs are now installed on the car, and it is pretty much exactly the same as the previous gen M3, M4 and M2. So nothing too complicated, it's fairly straightforward, and they require the very basic tools to actually do. But I've got here, so for the front, all we need is a 10mm for the headlight level sensor, a T30 for the top mount, and a 16mm to undo it. And then you've got the strut nut for the top, and then obviously the 10mm to hold it together. And then for the rears, we've just got a 21 and an 18mm, and literally that's all you need. But so we just got the usual harnesses, which you just feed off, and then you've got, it's by here, but there's the nuts at the back. That's a 16mm, so undo that, undo the top strut nut, and then support the bottom as it comes down. And then for the rears, fairly simple. We've got the, where are we? Oh, can't even see. Level sensor here, that's a 10mm, and then we undo the damper, undo it from the chassis or the rear subframe. 18, 21 spanner socket on the end, and then just support it down. So we will crack on with the downpipes. So just finished removing the downpipes on this F82 M4, and it's not a bad job at all. First time working on this S58, and pretty straightforward, didn't take too long. But so we've got the OEM cats here, you can see, not too sure what cell they are, maybe 600, and then we've got this pipe. This pipe actually probably makes the install a little bit easier, because on the S55 you'd have to take the full cat back off in order to get the downpipes, whereas if you just remove this, this is what extends the shorter downpipe to give it that equal length on the cat back. But basically we've got a load of 13 mils here. They just go on here to connect to there and on the other side, so they're removed. We've got a couple of 15 mil nuts, which if you have a look, see where you've got the engine cover and then you've got this brace which goes over it, so you've got two little 15s either end, and you can take the engine cover off, and then once the engine cover's off, it allows you to disconnect the primary lambda sensors. So I've left they're out now, but I left the primary lambda sensors in the downpipes as I took them off, disconnected the secondary lambda sensors, so they're still on the car. But yeah, it just makes it a little bit easier. But let me get a torch, show you what's underneath it. Oh, where are we? So, really small. I remember what I was saying to you, these are effectively 2-3 cylinders in line. So you can see there, the one turbo feeds bank 2, and the front turbo feeds bank 1. The turbos look a little bit larger than on the previous model. But yeah, so all that's left to do now is get the upgraded downpipes back on, well not back on, fitted. Oh. Get them fitted. Lovely bit of kit these are, really, really nice. Spoke to the suppliers about these before actually going ahead and fitting them, and they said they've not had any issues fitting these. So yeah, get these downpipes on and then show you how it sounds. So downpipes all on. We've also got the spacers on there as well. They're 12 mil all round. We usually go for 15 mil all round, but the customer supplied 12s. The downpipes weren't too bad to fit. They were more difficult to fit than removing the OEM ones, which is usually the opposite way around, but it was mainly the internal diameter on the downpipe where it goes into the turbo was maybe a mil, half a mil, slightly too big, so it just required a nice little firm press, whereas we usually supply VRSF downpipes, but I don't know if they're available for the S58, but VRSF downpipes usually just fit on like a dream. But let's have a quick look. Where are we? So we've got this pipe back on. Can't really see too much, to be honest with you, but it's a really nice install, to be fair. They fitted on nice. Started up the car. Yeah, started up the car. Everything seems to be okay now. So put all the under trays back on, and yes, it looks really dark outside, but it's actually only 5 o'clock. Joys of the winter days. But get the under trays back on the car, make sure it's all fine, and then we'll show you how it sits and how it sounds. So the BMW M4 Competition G82 is all complete. H&R lowering springs, eye-back spacers all round, and upgraded downpipes. And just take a look at how smart this looks. This colour really does set it off, and obviously with all the gloss black bits on there, it just looks so nice. But if you look at the ride height now, just so much more purposeful, and to the untrained eye, some people would think that this is just how they come out of the factory. So if you look, just perfectly uniform front and rear. They'll probably settle down after about 200 miles. And then if you have a look with the spacers, just gives it lovely lovely stance with the outer edge of the arch. But yeah, really happy with how this has turned out. But in terms of ride, again, if you've never been in an M4 competition before and this would be your first time experiencing one, you wouldn't think anything of it, because yes, it drives quite firm, but it's an M4. They are going to ride a little bit firm, but honestly, I'm actually really impressed so far with how it rides. You wouldn't think anything of it. It's nice and compliant, it's not crashy, it's nice and smooth, it absorbs the bumps quite nicely. But this is just driving around town, well, not on town, just a quick test route around, but yeah, it does drive lovely. But that does look smart. So just a quick little sound clip. The car is literally brand new. It's 2 days old, less than 300 miles on the clock, so you're not going to hear it properly, but just a little, got a nice little bit of bass to it. Obviously it's got the artificial overrun, but maybe we'll see what the customer's like. I know he's got no intentions on tuning it, but maybe once he's done his running in service, we'll get it on a dyno, get some proper sound clips for you. It'd also be interesting to see what it produces in terms of numbers, because these are what, 510 horsepower, and we've got downpipes on here, so it could be a bit more. But one thing I would say with these is it could be the volume needs to be a little bit more. So yes, we've got the primary downpipes taken out, which is the main restriction, but then we've still got secondary cats, and I believe we got the GPFs. So there's still loads of restriction in this exhaust. So what we did on our demo F80 was we had the primaries and secondaries and the center res out, mated to the OEM rear silencer, and it just sounded perfect. Obviously we've still got the control on the valves, we can open and close them, so it's still a benefit. But this, I think, with just downpipes, for me personally, it wouldn't be enough. But a lot of amplification inside the car, all the sound of all the amplified sound coming in through the speakers. Yeah, it does sound good, but when I said to you it's brand new, 283 miles on the clock. So yeah, but right, that is everything. We will get the H&R lowering springs on the website. We don't tend to use the iBats, tend to use the Bimax bases, so we'll get those on there as well. And in terms of exhausts on these, we tend to use the VRSF ones, but at the moment I don't believe they're available for this car. But as soon as they're available, we'll get them on the website. But if anything you see in this vlog is of interest to you, and you've got an M4 or an M3 or any M car for that matter, get in touch. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the vlog, and we'll see you on the next one.